Okay, this video I've been meaning to make for way too long. Basically, spoiler alert, this video is going to show you how to scan and digitize your book if you don't have a scanner. Now, why would you want to do this? Why did I want to do this? Well, if you've seen my most recent video, you know that I showed you how some book pages could not be scanned. In the example I showed in that video, I actually showed a way you could, if you're lucky, kind of flip a page over, flip it in reverse, feed it upside down and in reverse, and you could actually trick the scanner, which has a CIS sensor, into scanning the page. That doesn't always work. And also, even if it doesn't work, you can't always just go to a flatbed scanner because maybe you don't have a flatbed scanner. My flatbed scanner does not have a working ADF, automatic document feeder. So I was forced to figure out how to do this, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing now to scan books which have these challenging pages. So if it's just a text fiction book, a Stephen King or whatever, you're not going to have any problem. Split the book open on the spine like I show you, put it in the automatic document feeder about 30 to 50 pages at a time. Boom, you'll be done in about 20 minutes. Some books are more challenging. So for instance, here's a little book, business book I was trying to scan, and it has pages that look like this. Let me show you what happens if you try to scan this page, okay? I'm going to put it down in the scanner here, and let's just shift so you can see my desktop here. Now I'm running NAPS 2. It's going to be the same result if you're using the Epson software, because they all use the Twain or WIA, depending on which, use the same software interface to the hardware. So the results are going to be the same. Trust me on that. So I'm just going to put the page in. I'm going to hit scan, and we'll just bring this up. I'll show you what we're doing. So we're doing double-sided letter size. I'm specifying letter size. I've done color here. I could try grayscale, won't make a difference. 300 DPI, deskew, and let's just try scanning. Watch what happens. And here we go. So this, what should be 2 pages, not only, as you can see, broke up into a whole bunch of subpages, but it even triggered a fault, a paper jam fault. The scanner thinks it jammed. It's gotten so confused here. So I'm just going to hit stop on that. Scanning, cancel, removed. I've got to now open and clear a jam that doesn't exist. 12 pages for what should be 2. Let's clear that. I could try my other trick, which is sometimes turn it around, try the other way. Let's see what happens. Put that in the scanner, hit the scan button, same settings. That pause wasn't a good sound. 6, 8, 10. Oh, only 10 pages this time. Wow, much better. Okay, so this page is unscannable with the scanner, cannot be scanned. And the problem is this book has a lot of pages like that. In fact, the whole book is very artistically done and has lots of pages like that. So I was faced with 2 choices: either scan the whole thing on my flatbed scanner, which has a broken automatic document feeder and feed 1 page at a time, or I could be forced to figure out how to scan this using a method that I'll bet everyone has at this point. That's right, your phone. Let's see how it works. Okay, let's see what we've got going on over here. So here I have set up. Now you don't have to be this fancy, but I'm going to show you what software I used and what hardware I used to scan this book. Now, hardware was just an iPhone SE 3rd generation. This is a 12 megapixel camera on the front camera lens. I have put it in this newer knockoff of a Manfrotto Magic Arm, just so I can hold it in position. So it's now propped up, standing, pointing exactly down on my black mat here. Black is helping with contrast, so the automatic page detection can work efficiently. And the other thing I've set up here is a light. So I've got one light on this side, and I do have another light underneath my desk So I've got light coming in from both sides. Now the important thing is this light is on an angle, so it's not going to create a hot spot on the camera. It's going to, if anything, bounce away. It's going to illuminate the page, but without causing a hot spot. So now, what software am I going to use? Well, that's where things get interesting. I'm going to use software called SimpleScan. SimpleScan is available for iOS devices. You get like 3 test scans for free. After that, you have to pay. It's reasonably priced, $12 for a year. Oh, what's that? You don't like subscription models? You can pay $49 and have a lifetime license. Now, the nice thing about this is, one, it has the automatic page detection that we'll see in a second. 2, you've got a bunch of options. You can define, do you want to create a PDF, create images, or just extract the text? You can also define where it's going. So I've created a folder for this particular book I'm scanning with the name of the book, and it will put all of the scans as, in this case, as JPEG images into the folder that I've created. So it doesn't fill up your phone, it's putting it into your iCloud drive. Let's just see how it works in action. Now, the nice thing about having my phone in this holder mechanism is once I set it up, I don't have to move it. I can just put a page on, hit the scan button, which is this one. I can say, keep, the scan looks good. Flip the page over, hit the scan button again, and keep going. Now, I am taking JPEGs because what I'm going to do next is I still want to do the finish in NAPS 2. And with NAPS 2, I can just import all the JPEGs and double check and make sure they're all looking good. But I don't have to. I could create one PDF using this software. Some other nice things about the software, you can go into settings, and like I said, you can define the folder inside your iCloud where you want all these pictures to go. So you could put different book scans into different folders. Okay, I wanted to jump in here and explain a couple of things that I realized when I first did the run through of this video, I didn't explain very well about the SimpleScan software. First, one huge, it's not really a limitation, but it's something you got to be aware of. When you start initiating a scan, you can take a maximum of 24 scans, images, page scans, whether you're creating a PDF or whether you're creating images or whether you are extracting text. Once you get to 24, you will get a message that says something about, okay, you reached the maximum number of pages, and you have to hit OK. Now, how does that affect us? It kind of doesn't, depending on what you're doing. If you're trying to create one big PDF using the Create PDF function, which includes OCR in this software, you're going to only be creating it 24 pages at a time. Then you're going to have to take all of those groups of 24 pages, you'll have like 8 or 10 or 12, depending on how big the book is, and reassemble them in some other PDF editing software, which you can easily do on a MacBook, and there's other things, other software you can use even on your iPhone to put it back together. If you're doing what I'm doing in this example, where I'm taking JPEGs and saving them directly to a specified folder inside of iCloud, it doesn't really affect much at all. You get to 24 and then it just says okay, and then you just keep going, and in your iCloud, because you're all putting them in the same spot, they're all just getting put in the same spot anyways, and you can drag them into NAPS 2 later. The other thing I didn't talk much about is, okay, so in the SimpleScan, you start with your preferred format. What are you trying to create? A PDF, JPEG pictures, or text. If you're doing text, it will actually create a TXT ASCII text document. Then, of course, you choose your destination. Now, one thing that I want to clarify is the first destination you have at the top, what I've created was a file, a subfolder inside of the SimpleScan iCloud folder. So all of the scans were going in that one location. What gets a little confusing, because one of the other options is file, If you select File, it's going to prompt you every time. Not every scan, but once you're done and check the blue check mark and say, okay, I've finished this group. Maybe I got up to 24, maybe you only did a couple pages. Once you're done, then it will always prompt you. So for us, we don't want to constantly be prompted. So I chose the first item, set it up, forced it to a particular file location, and that's it. The other options, email, obviously, once you're done, click the blue check mark. It will take those series of images or that PDF or that text file and open up a blank mail document on your phone, ready to address and send. Similarly, messages, same thing. It'll attach it, blank message, ready to address and send. If you select photos, obviously it's going to send that to the Photos app and that sort of section of your phone. And finally, if you select share, once you're done scanning the pages and hit the blue check mark, it'll bring up the standard iPhone share sheet. So for example, you could, at that point, depending on how your phone's set up, immediately share that PDF, let's say, into another PDF app like PDF Expert or whatever. The other thing that I didn't specify was you can specify whether you want original, large, medium, or small quality/file sizes. I was using large for this scan. I haven't played around too much with what that means in practical effect. I can tell you that using large with a 12 megapixel camera, I was getting, depending on the content of the page, between about 500 and 800 KB per page, which is probably pretty standard before optimization and compression, which is kind of usual. Okay, so now that we've done our scanning and we've got all those hundreds of pages as JPEG scanned into a folder in iCloud, what's the next step? So right now you're seeing I'm logged into iCloud.com. I'm doing this right now on a Windows PC. The trick now is I want to go into by clicking on Browse in the top left-hand corner, and then in the iCloud drive, finding the Simple Scan folder. There it is right there. That gets created automatically when you install and run Simple Scan. Go into that, and then at the top of that, I can see there's the folder I created for this particular book. So all of the scans I did went into this folder. And if we open that up here, we can see all 279 files that represent this book. Now, one frustrating thing is I've just been trying to figure out if I can download all these as a zip file, and I can't figure out how. I've tried everything. I've tried clicking on the folder name here and looking for download as zip. The download icon is low lighted at the top or grayed out. So I think I'm going to have to just select all of these with Control A, which I've now done. And then I'm going to click download here, and let's just see what happens. There they go. All right. So now it's going to take obviously a little bit of time for them to all get downloaded. Right now into my downloads folder is going to be a bit of a mess, but I'll clean that up. And then once that's done, let's see what comes next as far as putting all of those scanned images into NAPS 2 and turning it into a very nice single multi-page PDF. Okay, now the download of those 279 files is done. Let's bring them into NAPS. So let's pull NAPS over here onto the main screen. These pages I already pulled in earlier. That was just part of a test. So let's see if we can now pull in the rest from our downloads folder. So now one thing I don't know quite yet is how NAPS will order all of these pages. So let's grab them all. I'm holding down Shift click, and let's drag them into NAPS 2 and see what happens. Hopefully it tries to put them in sort of file name order. If it does that, they should all be in the right order. And what I'm seeing looks pretty promising. The only issue I have is they're all rotated, but I can fix that with about a couple of clicks. Import as complete, and it does look like it's put them in the right order, which is great for me. I've got some duplicates now because it looks like I re-imported what I'd had tested earlier, but we can easily fix that. So I think the first thing I want to do is correct the rotation in all of these. So I'm going to click and go to the top and hold down Shift and click, and now I've selected all of them. They all need to rotate left, so let's do that, and that's looking good. So now it's just a matter of maybe carefully making sure that I've got everything done like I want. These were some inserts that I had inside the cover. I'm going to move these up to the top of the page. So they're just inside the cover. Cover's right there. By the way, I'm holding down the control key and using the scroll wheel on my mouse to do that zoom in and out. And it's looking good. All that we have to do now is the usual PDF settings. I'm going to make sure I've got the title of the book set, the author, subject, keywords. Looks good. And we'll click Save All Pages. And we'll call that Business Model Generation Book. Save. And because I have OCR enabled in NAPS 2, that will be an OCR character, optical character recognized for all the text. So it's going to take a little bit longer than normal because of that, especially because we've got all this weird graphics. It's sometimes a bit of a challenge for the OCR engine. But let's just fast forward again. And now here we are looking at the PDF that was created. Ignore these first couple of pages. They were just some inserts that I had in that book. But here we are. We've got the book. We've got it OCR'd properly. The last step now is to do the fit and finish, which is using Adobe Acrobat to just clean up the table of contents and compress it down to a half decent size. That's all shown in one of my previous videos. Look for it on this channel. There's a lengthy sort of 20-minute video that goes step by step through processing this. Let's call it a raw PDF. It still needs to have a proper table of contents and also have the text fully compressed. Again, that's all explained in a previous video on my channel. So that's it. We managed to scan a book without a scanner to overcome the problems that we had with the scanner that we had available. But this is something that anyone could easily do. Of course, you do still need NAPS for this to do the final assembly. But as we saw, that Simple Scan software is able to create OCR'd PDFs up to 24 pages at a time, which you could then fairly easily combine with some software right on your phone. So we can get some pretty good results with tools that probably everyone has in their pocket, a phone. Thanks for watching, everyone.